Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another reaction. We're going back to a band that I believe I only reacted once previously on this channel. From what I remember, they sounded pretty damn good from when I first. And we're talking about the band Sylosis. And I believe this is the guitarist from Architects' own band. I know his little side project thing. I believe that's what it is. Or he's created this own band for himself to do his own style, to do his own, music. But they've been around for quite some time, I believe. So I haven't really checked out any of their other stuff previously besides that last video. So it's been quite some time. So they might have come out with new stuff. But this one right here is definitely the newest one. So we're going to check out for you today. But I'm excited, ladies and gentlemen. From what I remember, they had that old school melodic metalcore sound to them. Like early As I Lay Dying-esque sort of feel to them. So I kind of like that. I kind of dig that old school vibe from what I remember from the original video. So we're gonna have to wait and see. Maybe they changed their sound a little bit. Maybe they went more down-tuning. Maybe they went more hardcore-y. I don't know, but I'm excited, man. I don't know too much on this band, so if you guys have any more facts or other songs you might want to react to, be sure to let me know down in the comments as well. So I'd like to a little bit more know about the band, maybe why he kind of spun off and made his own side project over from Architects. Maybe he wanted to do a more metal sound, a more melodic metal sound, more old school sound. I don't know, but if you guys have any idea, be sure to let me know, and I'll be happy to read that for you guys as well. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, but before we get started, be sure to subscribe, I really appreciate it, and to really help me out. And if you like Sylosis as well, be sure to leave a like on this video as well. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. Check out some more videos, just getting started on these heavy bangers. Ladies and gentlemen, no time wasted. Let's get right into it. It's the Sylosis' newest release track titled The New Flesh. Ooh. A little spookiness to it. Ooh. A little old school black metal vibe. Let's go, boys. Woo! Yo, fire screams in. Oh, there's the thrash beats. Get those pits spinning, boys. Woo! They're like hardcore thrash almost. Damn, solo piece already? Boys, we're just getting started here! Oh, the bass! Oh, yeah! Definitely hear the old school influence, though. Oh, lift it up! Open chords, man. Oh, man! Song's taking me over! Oh, we're beating it down, boys! Oh yeah, beat it down! Very hardcore and heavy. Woo! Bass on piece number 2! Oh, I love the rammies! course, you're building it up again? We're going to breakdown number 2? The vocal chops! Beat it down, ladies and gentlemen! Beat it up! Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, what a slapper! What a slapper! Like I said, very different from what I remember. I felt like the last track from like a couple years ago was more melodic, more like old school metalcore feel, like As I Lay Dying, like I said. But this one is more intense heavy. This one is more beat down heavy, more hardcore focused, I would say. Definitely reminiscent of like old school, you know, like black metal, old school kind of like, you know, thrash metal as well, especially with like the beginning section there when, you know, like drum patterns and stuff like that at the beginning of the section here. But it kind of reminded me of kind of like old school Trivium also in a way with the vocal style when it was like singing along, you know, with the rhythm patterns, singing along with just like the screams, you know, the high screams, just going along with the rhythm patterns. Kind of reminiscent of old school Trivium in a way, at least for me when I heard like some parts of this track here as well. But wow, very intense. This one I could definitely see why he kind of spun off and made his own side project, you know, wanting to do a more hardcore focused, you know, style band, a lot more like heavier, more intense. I would say maybe that's kind of like the bands he listens to. Maybe he likes like the old school kind of like nostalgic, you know, 80s kind of like hardcore metal vibe, I would say. So I could definitely see, you know, the influence in there as well, especially on like the European side of things. But yeah, very like intense, very hardcore, you know, beat down, heavy, intense as well, you know. A lot more, not as heavy as, you know, like Knock Loose or stuff like that, but, you know, it's very, you know, classic heavy. It's very more classic modern rock, I would say, you know, classic modern metal. But I would say the song is very more rhythmic heavy. It's very focused on the chugs, very more focused on the breakdowns, you know, the beat down stuff. You know, we had some crazy solos in here. We had 2-piece solo in here, which is, you know, kind of surprising, you know, for me. You know, I know the bands are a great guitarist, you know, they don't really do solos too much over on, you know, Architect side of things. It's very more, you know, formulaic, I would say. But with over here, he has a lot more freedom to do what he wants. You know, freedom to play. You know, freedom to do those solos and kind of things. So we had surprising 2-piece solo here as well. Very melodic in that sort of aspect. You know, but other than that, it's very beat down. It's very more intense, very old school, you know, sounding. Like I said, just hearing one of these songs, you know, it just makes you want to, you know, get that aggression out, you know, get that energy out. You know, if you just like, you want to break some shit, you already know how it is. But when you hear these sort of beat down, you know, heavy, intense sort of track, a lot of whammy play here on the notes as well. You know, pitch shifting up and down, you know, notes and stuff like that. A lot of bands don't really do that, you know, nowadays. You know, you hear like the down tune, you know, breakdowns and stuff like that, but you don't really hear the whammy too much, especially on like the solo or the rhythmic side of things. A lot of bands don't really do that sort of nowadays. So that was kind of, you know, fun to listen to. But yeah, Sylosis is very different from what I remember. I don't know if they're going into a more beat down heavy route. Like I said, so they might be changing their sort of sound from what I remember at least. But yeah, so I might have to check some more of Sylosis out. I don't know if they recently created an album, you know, over the past year or so, or if they're coming, you know, gearing up to creating a new one this year. I don't know. But if you guys have any more news on this band, be sure to let me know, and might have to check that one out if they drop a new one this year. So it'll be an exciting thing to look forward to amongst all these other new albums that I've been speculating over this past couple years or so. So this year is already looking up to giving another crazy year for metal releases as well, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, so be sure to hit that subscribe button, especially new here. Go squad through every single bang on the channel. If you don't want us out on a single one, guarantee that. And I'll see you guys in the next one.